Folks, not a dramatic folks today, just a folks. Oop, too far. Folks, my name is Rudy. You're watching a YouTube channel called Alpha Investments. There are times in life that we have some historical moments and historical events happen. In the last 24 hours, we definitely experienced some history in the world of trading cards and Magic the Gathering. Sit back and relax. We'll go through a lot of interesting conversations that are swirling around in the shot heard around the world in the cardboard magic world, and the Pandora's box situation that's been opened. Some people are calling it worse than Magic 30. Some people are calling it a major pivot, a major turning point in the world of cardboard. So I'm going to go through everything with you guys and just kind of regurgitate what I've been following the last 24 hours, and I'll let you all know kind of how it unfolded in the world of Rudy over here. So, unless you've been living under a rock, you're aware that out of nowhere, the Commander Rules Committee, so we're going to go ahead and refer to that as the, I guess the Timmy group, the random people appointed to somehow govern a lot of power in the world of Commander EDH stuff that technically not Wizards of the Coast, so it's a very interesting thing. Yet at the same time, apparently these individuals work with Wizards of the Coast and discuss these things for 6 to 12 months in advance, and it's a very complicated yet disturbing yet eye-opening moment that everybody went through. So first, let's tell you what happened. Yesterday, I'm going through my day, preparing we're shipping out a ton of Magic and getting ready for this Duskmorn thing. And we are getting ready for the mega ultra launch of Sorcery Arthurian Legends. And the reveal today was supposed to be a spoiler card reveal and the playmat reveal, but that'll probably be tomorrow due to this extreme situation that has occurred. So out of nowhere, I knew something was going on because I started getting random patron messages, and about, I think, 22 patrons closed their account saying, "Rudy, I'm never buying cardboard again. How dare you sell Wizards of the Coast Magic cards? You are a scumbag representing Commander and rules, and you have cost me thousands." And so I knew something was going on because I'm out working and sweating like crazy trying to beat this hurricane in Florida. And all of a sudden, I see all these notifications and messages coming through. And we had a little spike of about 20, a little over 20 patron accounts getting closed and things going on. So hey, if you like to support Rudy and you want to buy some sorcery and magic and Pokemon and Weiss and One Piece? Am I allowed to say that yet? That the box is recovered? Is it too dangerous? Yeah, consider supporting me because we just had a nice little blowout out of nowhere. So again, when these things happen, you have like a shockwave ripple that goes through the world of cardboard and Magic. So let's start with a couple things. I also started getting blown up with messages because years ago I made a YouTube video saying Jewel Lotus will be a $20 card. And it was one of the biggest things that the internet laughed at me and made fun of me about. And now suddenly, out of nowhere, years later, all these individuals on the internet are now conspiring that Rudy knew this was going to happen. And Rudy somehow predicted or had inside information regarding Jewel Lotus going to crash and be a $20 card. Obviously, at that particular point in time when I made that video many years ago, I made that based on the fact that it was a mythic card in Commander Legends draft boxes, original Commander Legends, and they were going to print, which they did, 3-4 print runs of it, and the pool rates would just saturate the market and dilute it as we approach the game piece era. Well, what I didn't calculate was the difficulty to actually pool a Jewel Lotus and the difficulty of really getting the flashy version in a collector box, the borderless and everything. So I ended up being very wrong on my prediction of a $20 Jewel Lotus. Little did I know, 4 or 5 years later, suddenly, something very interesting in a dramatic black swan event would occur that suddenly makes me look like some prophet or someone who knew about the future. I'll let you guys determine which one is true. Doesn't really mean anything to me. Now, the fact that Jewel Lotus was a card used to sell as recent as Commander Masters as a selling point, and of course, well, Jewel Lotus is a card that literally, I mean, I don't even know how to play Magic, and, you know, the card states It's a card that can only be used in Commander to, cast your Commander. So if I knew how to play Magic, I'm going to assume that that card is pretty much only usable in a singleton format. That's pretty much what everybody wants it for. So to have a card that's used as a selling point as recent as Commander Masters within the last 2 years, 1 year, in the last 18 months, and then turn around and nuke it after the market absorbs it and pays you the money, is definitely a very, very suspicious situation, of especially that chatter on the internet is stating that this conversation about banning and removing Jeweled Lotus has been going on for about over a year, and the conversation included Wizards of the Coast staff. So, in other words, they knew about it, and it is now being speculated that was one of the reasons they did a last hurrah on reprinting it in Commander Masters to cash in on the equity before essentially annihilating the card and the financial value of the secondary market. So, it's a very complicated situation, everybody. This leads me, we'll pause right there, to remind you all, as many people on the internet like to state and use against me, these are game pieces. Game pieces aren't supposed to have financial value. And once again, that is now being thrown around again as Wizards decides to take some of their most valuable cards in the, modern Commander new stuff, Mana Crypt, Jeweled Lotus, Monkey Pirates, they are taking some of the only expensive remaining cards that are $50 plus $100 range, and they essentially just crossed them out and annihilated it. Now, this leads to a lot of speculation and a lot of weird things, because now everybody is now starting to tilt and say, clearly, the reason this is happening is there is something else coordinated coming. So now, there's many people that have contacted me, stores, patrons, and you all, that is speculating that we're going to have a newer version of newer powered cards, and they want to kind of flush out the system of these older power, pretty much highly used Commander cards. Well, on a business standpoint, moving into 2025, if you nuke some of the most expensive cards, it's going to make it more difficult to reprint high equity cards into new products. Now, if you're getting ready to release or create powerful new cards in place of these, and you want the market to move forward so that they can kind of reset the game board, and you want to get rid of the game pieces from the past, this kind of makes sense. Wizards in the last 5 years cashed in on Monkey Pirates from the old Commander 2019, right? You have Monkey Pirates from Commander back in the day. You've got Monkey Pirate reprinted in a lot of them. You have modern reprint sets, you have the Commander deck sets, and you have Master sets. So, you factor that in with, I think, Mana Crypt was the most expensive. Is that the most expensive modern, new card? I think it is. So, this is a very interesting thing. There is absolutely no way on God's green earth that this action that came out of nowhere and annihilated the market was not premeditated and highly sought through. This was something that had to have taken place after many meetings, many discussions, many months, if not 1 to 2 years of discussion with Wizards of the Coast. Now, without getting into the entire details of who are these people, why are these individuals allowed to move the market like that for these single cards until everybody's certain cards are no longer allowed, why the timing is very suspect. There's a lot of suspicious question marks in this scenario, okay? I don't know the individuals. I'm not pretty much informed enough. Remember, I am not one of the cool kids. I am like the exiled stepchild in the world of Wizards of the Coast and approved people. They aren't allowed to talk to me. They are not allowed to communicate with me. We kind of keep the moats between us, and we don't really communicate, and we all pretend like the other side doesn't exist, that kind of thing. So, I don't really know. It's very difficult to pinpoint what the tipping point is. If Rudy has to speculate, I think it was a financial move because there's something else planned within the next 12 months for the Commander format in a future Commander-related release in some sort of high-end product that's going to have newer cards and cards that Wizards wants the Commander humans and you all out there to use. Because everything's based on business, finance, and revenue. And the most reasonable, common sense, assuming they have common sense, reaction to this from the business side is Wizards already cashed in on everyone's money. They are looking to wipe that off the board and start over. Now this gets into an interesting caveat for everybody. I'm going to talk about the reserve list. So if you want a thumbs down and bail out right now and close your Patreon accounts and send me nasty grams, this is your moment. These are the exact moments why a reserve list of some form is a necessity to protect individuals and to maintain a certain level of discipline on a corporation that's only focus is shareholders like me and pretty much revenue and profit and endless growth cycles. Now whether that reserve list is just an art reserve list expansion, maybe they just reserve list certain art pieces in versions or framework. I'm not really concerned if it's a whole card or a framework or a type or a foiling or an art style. I don't really care about the details. That can be argued and negotiated by people smarter than me. But moments like this, let me explain who this whole thing hurts. Okay, most of the people who have these cards that were annihilated are essentially two individuals. Pretty much going to be some sort of store or business that has inventory of singles for Commander and Modern, Standard, whatever, right? Or regular individual players are probably going to be between the ages of 16 and 36 and play Magic the Gathering with their friends, kitchen table, Commander, and have fun and enjoy the product. Those are going to be the two people that are going to take the biggest hit on this. Now, as you know, Rudy does not believe in any form of Modern or Commander singles of modern times, because if they hold financial value, Wizards will destroy that and absorb it and dilute it at the expense of the working class individual player who works hard, gets a paycheck, buys Magic cards, and then pretty much just sucks the money out of it without even enjoying the sucking and without even a giggity. That's how my attitude has always been, and that's always been my number one thing that I've always felt is extraordinarily incorrect and improper, and it's just my biggest pet peeve of the whole thing. I believe young individuals who are joining the world of Magic should be able to experience all the money that is converted to their cards, experience the game and enjoy it, and the money they inputted into their hobby should maintain some sort of value. Yes, it's a card game. Yes, they're game pieces. And yes, I know how the culture is in 2024. And these are very, very ice cold moments of the impact when you have random people that make rules and those people work with Wizards of the Coast. Because right now there's a lot of focus. People thinking that let's all blame this rules committee, this and that. I don't know who these rules committee people are. And it doesn't matter if it's Timmy in the basement, my left nut, or simply the drive-thru at Chick-fil-A who always shorts you on waffle fries. It doesn't really matter who's making these rules, because all these individuals in this fucking committee of whatever dumb shit, these individuals are running these rules and changes by Wizard staff. Hashtag WotC staff, right? Gotta be the cool kid, whatever the fuck these idiots are. These individuals, this information is passed through to them. It is coordinated. There is no fucking way this decision was made, and there's a mana crypt, a jeweled Lotus, or obviously a monkey pirate. There is no way these cards were already slotted in a future Magic expansion for 2025. No fucking way. No way. Which is why, in my opinion, G-word guaranteed, the most dangerous word on the internet, this was discussed and planned with Wizards of the Coast. So while everybody can point and say, these are people that don't even work there, I don't understand it, this was coordinated with Hasbro, WotC, whatever. There is no way the risk level that there's going to be some premium special master set coming in Q1, Q2 of next year, let's say, or I don't know, whatever and there was going to be a Mana Crypt or Jewel Lotus in it. Because the devastating impact of doing that could have cost Wizards of the Coast millions of dollars, or a failed launch, or a collapse. There's no way. So based on that basic principle, I believe this was highly coordinated and planned out for at least 1 to 2 years. This was not an overnight thing. This was not something from the last few months. This was highly calculated. And also, actually, I don't even know if there is a premium specialty set coming out in the next 3, 6, 9 months. They've laid out the roadmap. I don't think there is. This was planned. Okay? And honestly, this may have been something they've been wanting to do, maybe even a year ago, or maybe even before that, but they knew about the reprints, or they knew about Commander Masters, and there's certain things that, could you imagine if this was announced right when Commander Masters came out? Commander Masters struggled and collapsed on release and just now recovered. Can you imagine if this, it would have been nuclear level disaster. So you have to kind of, chip away and break all this down and think about it slowly and compartmentalize each step of this way. Okay, so now let's talk about the next thing. Let's go back to Rudy's expand the reserve list and piss everybody off thing. These are moments why it requires some sort of, I don't want to say consumer protection, because that sounds cliche and it's a card game and ooh, my game pieces. You're gonna get all the angry people on the internet who, the 5 roommates, remember, 1 apartment, they all work at Taco Bell, they only share 1 toilet, so they're all angry at the world and the economy. So those individuals are going to get very angry over the game piece concept, because there are going to be people now in this moment that are going to be very angry. I'm never buying Magic, I'm quitting. I know that for a fact because I had about 20, 25 love letters and patron accounts being closed, and I didn't even know what the fuck was going on. So I knew there was going to be a ripple. Right when I started seeing what was going on, I said, wow, okay, that's interesting. I guess I better finish working for the day, and well, fuck, nothing I can do. And then there's going to be other people that are going to celebrate this. Okay? So depending on your perspective in this world, remember, we're all supposed to pick sides, and we're supposed to hate everybody else. Don't lose sight of that. So you're going to have a bunch of other people, and they're going to have their game piece army hat on, and they're going to be partying. They're going to be thrilled that the people who cause Mana Crypt, the people who cause Jewel Lotus, the evil little Rudys out there, are all going to get pounded in the face. As, we live and thrive on a society that loves drama in topics like this. The amount of messages that you all sent me to make this video today was the biggest spike of, Rudy, you got to cover it, I've seen in a long time. You hit YouTube right now. Any Magic channel bringing this up is getting insane views. It's a big deal. Holy shit, blah, blah, blah. And that's why I'm discussing it. And it's fascinating to me how big of the impact this is. And I get that it's historical, and I get that this is kind of a game-changing thing, and this could definitely, this event could definitely change the behavior of a lot of things moving forward. This could be almost similar. This could almost be considered like the Magic 30 damage of vintage Magic. This moment is almost like just dropping just a bomb of problems in the middle of the Commander world. Now, what's interesting, though, is remember, Wizards has leaned fully into Commander. All the Commander decks with releases, all these specialty things, the premium, their bread and butter has been leaning into the world of this Commander, right? So unlike trying to extract money from vintage with Magic 30, this is a little bit more dangerous and complicated. And it also reminds all of us how this company is very unpredictable. And while they have amazing employees and R&D, there are still people at this company that are dumb as fuck. And they clearly don't have a clue. Or they have information that we don't have. And we are the dumbasses because they legally don't want to tell us why they're doing it. But they're doing it now because they're laying the groundwork for something coming next year. So there's a lot of ways to approach all this, okay? But at the end of the day, a lot of people are very angry. A lot of people lost a lot of money. Essentially, if you pretty much had a play set and a bunch of Jewel Lotuses and graded Jewel Lotuses and slab Jewel, it's kind of funny. I remember, I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago at Tampa, we did the PCG for card grading at Tampa, Florida, the big card event. And actually, I think I saw a couple people submitting cards and dropping off orders that actually had Mana Crypts in the order. I think even right now, there are multiple customers with mana crypts actually at PCG Florida in the facility going through the grading and laser engraving and slabbing process. And I'm like, how do you think those people feel? They're going to get the card graded and they're going to get it back. And it's like, in the mana crypt thing is quite an interesting situation. Personally, I feel like there has to be another motive to this. And I believe it's something to do with secondary market, future card design, and pushing everybody into something new to sell more products in the next year or so. That is my instinct of this whole thing. That's the Rudy takeaway of this, okay? Are a lot of people truly going to quit Magic and quit Commander and, this whole move, everything, anything on social media? We're just going to buy proxies. Everything's proxies. Fuck Wizards. We got the whole fuck Wizards movement going, right? It's interesting to me how a lot of people almost have this virtual relationship with Wizards of the Coast. Like a lot of young people and a lot of people who've been rewired and brainwashed these YouTube and TikTok shorts with chicks jumping up and down and, showing off their outfits or this and that. And I feel like a lot of people think almost like Wizards is some friendly company, like a good friend of theirs, And these are good moments to remind you all that Wizards of the Coast in the social media and how they do this community thing, how a lot of you are on these little official Facebook groups that are moderated and get these little special things and you got to get approved and there's a post and I'm on the Reddit, I'm on the main group and I'm a moderator and look at my art project. Look. My stepsister made me this after she got stuck in the washing machine. It's a cupcake with a smiley face, but it's got a Wizards logo. I'm happy to see people happy, but it also disturbs me to show the disconnect of what this billion-dollar corporation is doing and how easily manipulative and how easily you can manipulate younger people who don't have a fucking clue. And it's a little scary, and I think this moment should be taken as a learning thing. I don't think Magic is dead. I don't think Magic is dying. And I'm going to tell you all the same thing I told you guys a couple months ago when they said, Rudy, we can X-ray all the Pokemon and Magic packs. All card games are dead. Pokemon's dead. We're going to X-ray everything. So when that little flash in the pan and all the dumbasses freaked out on that, I'm going to tell you all the same thing I told them a couple months ago in the world of Pokemon. And that is, the internet and the attention span of young people have been rewired to be such a short attention span. You're not going to want to hear what I'm going to say next, but there will most likely be no long-term impact. And within 90 days, no one's going to give a shit. And it's going to be 2 other Magic releases, and everything's going to just full steam ahead. And with what's coming in 2025, which is only a couple months away, with this Final Fantasy and Marvel Entertainment, which, by the way, anybody see? They already leaked and stole Marvel cards, Magic the Gathering Marvel cards, took a picture and put them on the internet. How much you guys sent me that? Fuck it. Anyways, yeah, it's just, Jesus Christ. It's just important to remind everyone that I'm so blown away. This is the biggest spike in Magic the Gathering news, in YouTube views, in news cycle I've seen all year. In the last 24 hours, there has been more drama, clickbait views in all these titles. And it's sad to me that this is what it took to have a big uptick and spike in Magic, YouTube, social media, is once again some stupid, bizarre situation that causes drama to pretty much make people quit Magic. I'm never spending money on it. I mean, look, let me be honest with you all. The company doesn't give a shit. This rules committee, whoever the fuck these people are, they have nothing to do with this. This was cleared and ran by the billion-dollar company. The billion-dollar company worked with them, told them when to release this, and this was coordinated. Okay? Past that, as they say on Wall Street Bets, I lost everything and I'm angry. And on Wall Street Bets, I'll see you Monday morning at the casino. And I don't think it really matters. And I think everything moves forward, and the attention span of everybody will be gone because everyone's just obsessed with the drama. And yeah, a lot of people lost a lot of money. And yeah, this reinforces why Rudy says sealed product. Sealed product is a diversification device. If you are parking money and doing things in your game pieces, it's important to remember, everybody, that yes, if you have a lot of money in new single cards, you should make sure you enjoy them because they are not places to hold money. They are not an investable thing. A modern single card, a standard single card, is an actual game piece because if it goes up in value, Wizards will see that, they will flag it, and they will go after it. So it does not fit the definition of investing, but they're collectible. Okay? You have to remember that when it comes to these single cards. Unlike Pokemon, the World of Magic the Gathering and single cards, with the Secret Lair modern era and the culture around Wizards of the Coast, they don't really want new cards to have value. So if you enjoy the game and play it, that's great, and you should still enjoy with your friends and have a good time, but you have to understand that you are inputting money into single cards that are new, that are pretty much, Wizards goes out of their way to make sure they do not go up in value. And if they go up, that's great. If they go up too much, they kind of fix that problem for you. So that's it. That's my attitude to the whole thing. I think, yes, it's a big deal. Yes, it's historical. Yes, a lot of people are angry. I guess it makes me question what's going to happen in 2025 and what the chase cards and specialty cards are going to be. Now that you got some of the most expensive modern cards pretty much annihilated, I'm assuming, and I hope that they have new cards to get everybody excited about. And unfortunately, for these of you who are younger and spending money on these new cards and single cards and buying the singles you need, if you are doing that, well, these are the moments that you pay the price for being a player, and to remind yourself that Magic is a beautiful thing. Not discounting that, but understand, on these social media websites, these rule committees, these approved channels, all these individuals and hashtag WotC staffs and smiling faces and all these special whatever they're into, is it politics or whatever, diversity or whatever, is the flavor of the month. Just remember, this is a corporation, ladies and gentlemen. If you like cards, I like you. Past that, I don't give a shit what kind of person you are. Just remember, this is a company. They will do, say, act, and behave what's in the best interest of the bottom line corporate entity. And things are calculated, and things are coordinated. And I hope this was an eye-opening experience that those of you who live on these social media websites, Facebook, MySpace, Twitter, the Reddits, the Discords, you've got your little logins and your approved accounts and private groups and all these dumb little Timmy shit. This is a good reminder that the power at B does not care, and they will do what they need to do. And as long as you have a good perspective with that, I don't really see a problem with that. Things are going to move forward, and by the time 90 days rolls around and we're in December and the holidays and whatever the Magic release is, no one's going to care. Sure, some of you all lost money because you had money parked in modern singles. And, well, a lot of people who had money parked in Snapcaster Mages and Lilianas and Tarmogoyfs and Jace the Mind Sculptors, well, you can email them and ask how they're feeling also. And that is how the wheels in the sky turn, and that is the difference between buying either single cards from the old school reserve list bear market that nobody wants, or pretty much the scumbag investors like me who focus on sealed product that's a diversified basket of cards. Definitely a historical moment. Probably won't cover it again. I just don't really care enough. And hope you all have a beautiful day out there. And remember, these approved individuals are not your friends. It is a business. Just like Rudy's penis. We are not friendly. It is a business.